Hello, welcome back to Adventure Sky of the Galaxy. This is our Israel-Palestine wider conflict update. Now, in my last little installment of this, we talked about North Israel, and the title of this video will be Israeli Tactical Hell Part 2, the I Told You So Part 1, or something like that, trying to literally explain to people why this is not going to work out the way that people think it is. This is my personal opinion and analysis. Now, October 7th, as we all know, people broke out of this little Gaza area. This is like a little wall here, and they attacked these settlements and all these areas around here. And contrary to popular belief, a lot of really ridiculous stuff ended up happening. A lot of shootouts and fights. Many different interviews with the Israeli civilians who were in that area, and a lot of that stuff was pretty wild. Okay, and so it took them like a couple of weeks to actually fight all the way back up to this area, and now they're actually going into the Gaza Strip with actual infantry and tank forces. And then you can see all this here. These little blue markers are the Israeli airstrikes or drone strikes, artillery strikes, and the red ones symbolize, I guess, what you would say, Hamas, all the other different militant groups, because there are many, and whoever else is fighting against them. Now, the reason why I'm doing this video is to tell people, because everyone usually, I'm doing a tactical analysis here, okay, military-wise, what I think is going to go on, what's happening. And some people don't like my opinion because it doesn't always add up with what they see on TV and popular culture and movies and stuff like that. And I'm always right because I actually am doing the hard work of doing the research and reading. Now, the reason why I do this is because a lot of people think that it's like with the Ukraine conflict, you're just going to send a bunch of money and weapons and guns and that's going to deter people. No. The more weapon and money and guns you send, like I said, to Ukraine, Russia just gets more angry and more determined because weapons and money and gun don't mean anything. If you don't know what you're doing or using it, or you don't actually have the reason to do whatever you're doing, it's not going to go well. So after that October 7th deal, basically a lot of the world, there was the Abraham Accords that they had signed. They basically were just going to get rid of Palestinians. They're essentially just going to just write them out of it. This was to let people know, I guess, in their eyes, to say, hey, we're not going to be left out of this Abraham Accord. You're not going to just push us into Jordan and all these other places. Because in the United States of America, a lot of conservatives or just people in general, they don't really know anything about this stuff. They just say, oh, why don't the other countries around there take Palestinian refugees? Well, they do. They already have a lot. But these countries, it's not like New York City. It's not like some giant thing. And even New York's having problems. You can't just put all these people there. They're going to want to come back. And so that's what the whole deal is. They're getting forced out. And a lot of people, even Israelis, are not cool with that. But like I said, their government sucks. And now we have the situation where all the countries around them, the people, not necessarily the governments, are revolting. And now they're having all these problems, and it's becoming a very serious thing. You're having in the West Bank, they're having revolts. As you can see, these little AK things here. 3 shooting attacks at the same time targeting the Sarah checkpoint, the Elba checkpoint, and the Deir Shahar checkpoint in the vicinity of Nablus. Now, like I said, these are refugee camps within this little green lined-in area. A lot of stuff's going on. The settler attacks, and if you've ever heard about that, the settlers are going and having conflicts with the Palestinians because of homes and olive groves and stuff like that. And you see here, interceptor is fired in central Israel, like I said, because there's lots of rockets being launched from down here in Gaza into Israel, and now Hezbollah has gotten involved because of the whole Gaza conflict, because you're bombing indiscriminately. You say you're going to get these tunnels, and the only time I've ever actually seen that them confirm that they've killed any Hamas fighters is like right here. Israeli army says it has killed numerous militants as Gaza stripped the last few hours. As the ground offensive progresses, it says troops identified a cell coming out of the tunnel and directed aircraft to strike them. Now, the reason why this is important is because if you don't know, this area, this is like the Beit Hanun area. The Israeli military and whoever else is joining them, whatever commandos or whatever, they've been having a really hard time, even though they've taken this area. A lot of Israeli soldiers, just like I had made in my last video about the up north, they're getting killed at an extremely high rate because, number one, you don't have your standoff capability. You're on the ground. You're face to face. You do not know what these people are going to do. Now, they've lived here for 20 years in this little area. They've been boxed in, and people would say, now, why would they build, tunnels underneath it? It's like, well, they all live here. They have no choice, and the political and the armed wing, they do whatever they want. Most people here have no money and guns. They can't really, just tell other people what to do. The Israeli government paid Hamas and actually helped them for many years. Now they turned on them and all this other stuff, so that's what happened. So As you can see, rockets fired from Gaza landed in the courtyard of a kindergarten, which is very upsetting and sad. No injuries, which is good. Like I said, but this is what happens when you play politics and you're trying to do funny stuff, and then it turns crazy because apparently, like I said, they're bombing. 7 dead Israeli bomb targeted 2 homes in the central Gaza area. I don't see any types of militants there. They're just, like I said, they're bombing everything they can. 3 dozen wounded Israeli bombing a target that targeted a house. Here goes another one. Airstrikes Gaza City. Like I said, anybody who thinks that every single Palestinian is a militant or every single Jewish person is evil, like I said, that's what leads to this type of stuff. It's very stupid. Israeli aircraft launched 2 raids on a house over here in Gaza City. Violent bombardments. It's just going to keep going on and on. Casualties reported. Israeli bombing target, the medical complex. Like I said, they're bombing hospitals. They're bombing everything because they literally don't know what else to do because they think that just indiscriminate bombing is going to make them want to stop, but that's not how it works. So as I said, Hamas 2 Israeli vehicles were destroyed northwest of Gaza City with anti-tank missiles. Now, this darker shaded area, this is like the area where the Israeli military, they were going to rush in eventually, but they probably would have got killed even worse. The Americans said, hey, look, if you're going to do this, they try to like coach them how to do it, and it's still not really even going that well, in my opinion. Israeli army released footage of troops in a Hamas stronghold captured by the Givat Brigade on Tuesday. The northern Gaza Strip, it says forces recovered intelligence materials that will be used in Israeli army's future fighting, which, I mean, I don't really know what that is. I guess they're going to have to actually demonstrate that they can do that. The Israeli army reveals it has recovered Hamas operational plans, command and control charts, communication devices, and personal development operations of terror groups. Like I said, this is their main area, and if they go out into these other areas, they're doing like little recon teams because their main effort is focused around these darker blue shaded areas. Israeli attacks surrounding areas of an Indonesian hospital because, like I said, this is a lot of different other types of countries and people have things here. So when you're bombing and blowing things up, obviously Arabs and Muslims from around the world are going to get mad because everyone thinks it's just all Gazan, Muslims or whatever. It's actually not. It's actually a lot of different types of people living here. Israeli airstrikes on artillery shelling in various areas of the Gaza Strip. So like I said, in this area, there are a lot of videos of in these little fields out here because these blue areas like little fields. Tunnels popping up everywhere, just like this little thing right here. The Red Crescent, the Israeli aircraft targeted ambulance that left the Shifa complex, injured people. Like I said, there's all kinds of stuff going on. Like I said, hospital bombings. They're dropping airstrikes on everywhere. They dropped 12,000 bombs. There's a lot going on, and the reason why this is a big deal is because a lot of people around the world, we may not agree on a lot of things. They may not agree in the Middle East, blah, blah, blah. One thing they agree on is Palestine. As you can see right here, the Jordanian foreign minister announces that they're going to have the Jordanian foreign ministry announces that the foreign ministers of Jordan, the Emirates, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Egypt, and the secretary of the executive committee of the PLO will hold a coordinated meeting tomorrow, followed by a joint meeting with the U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken. So they're going to literally say, hey, look, sorry about that. So like I said, the people in these countries around Lebanon, Syria, Jordan, Egypt, all the people, even Yemen, Saudi Arabia, all the country, Turkey, all of these countries, the people in their countries are getting really angry. So then they have like right around, I guess, Greece, maybe Crete. You have like a couple of U.S. fleets and aircraft carriers. But like I said, people are like, oh, yeah, we sent the aircraft carriers. Okay, people in America have to understand. If you're in this area, you're going to get hit with a lot of different types of missiles, especially if Turkey is a very flip-flop country. They've bombed and attacked and killed Russians. Then they'll bomb and attack the U.S. over here in Syria. Like, they can pretty much do whatever they want because they have the people, they have the population, and they part of NATO. Even though they fight with Greece and other NATO countries, like for whatever reason, people need to get through this strait right here. And Turkey controls the Bosphorus, so you have to let them do whatever they want, and they bully their way around. And now Turkey, the president of Turkey, is literally saying, you know what, I'll fight for Palestine. Now they're starting to have rhetoric that's getting crazy. The guy over here, Nasrallah, says Hezbollah has 57 dead. Nasrallah is the second in command of Hezbollah. That guy literally gave a speech. I watched the whole hour and a half speech. He criticized all the foreign nations over here, the Gulf states, the EU, the US. He says you're all a bunch of lazy pieces of crap. You talk about, we care about international order and this and that, but then, like I said, you let Israel get away with whatever they want. U.S. gets whatever they want. Europe gets away with whatever they want. The Saudi Arabians, all these different governments, Turkeys, they get away with whatever they want, and they don't care about Palestine. So then he criticized them all, and he says, I am going to continue doing what we're doing here on the border. So let me give me 1 second. Let me switch over here. So Nasrallah gives a speech today, right here. After 28 days of war in Gaza, he basically said, okay, so we've been actually fighting the whole time. Not that he actually didn't know anything about it. They had to surprise him so that everybody could see that they could do it on their own. And as you can see here, Israeli army says an anti-tank guided missile was fired from Lebanon at an army post near the near the northern community of Matat. No injuries. Israeli army responding artillery shells, and that would be these shells right here. And like I said, they're just going to shell towns and villages back and forth. The Israeli army cleared out like I think a 2 to 4 kilometer zone around here so they could do fighting and just take over people's houses and fight back and forth. But like I said, Hezbollah says it targeted gathering Israeli soldiers near the Mitat site, opposing this area. Near the Mitat site, opposite the Lebanese town of Rimishi. Sorry if I mess up some of these names here. Lebanese Hezbollah reports the death of 6 of its members during the past 24 hours as a result of Israeli targeting. Here's another one. One of the guys, the Hezbollah fighters that was killed fighting against Israel here. But, like I said, I think it's up to like 60-something. I would imagine I've counted at least 50 to 60 Israeli soldiers that have been hit and killed or injured in this area. They've been doing a lot less. At least one impact in central Kiryat Shimona. No injuries, heavy damage done. In the past couple of days, as you can see, Israeli Broadcasting Corporation, 2 people were injured from a bombing from the Lebanon northern border. Like I said, there's a lot of different stuff going on, and it has actually injured a lot of people. As you can see, there's different smoke rising from, all these different artillery strikes, airstrikes. Israeli army strike at Hiam in southern Lebanon earlier today. Israeli army says a soldier was moderately wounded and another was lightly hurt in a Hezbollah drone attack on army position in the Mount Dove area last night. Israeli army says it struck and killed Hezbollah operatives at a site belonging to the terror group in response, and a tank hit an anti-tank squad. So basically, they're just doing tit for tat. But what did I tell you in my last video? Israel cannot handle the tit for tat because they only have, again, a couple 100,000. They're not all infantry, right? These people have millions, and they're getting very fed up. And like I said, the technology difference is not, it's not like that anymore. The U.S. intelligence that the Syrian President Bashar al-Assad has agreed to provide Lebanese militant group with Russian-made missiles defense system, according to with people familiar with the matter. Now, regardless of what you actually believe with that, up here in Syria, okay, there's an air base like Latakia, right? There's a major air base for Russian over here. Lots of different. I made videos in the past couple of years about Idlib and all the war going on up here because there is a active war going on. USA dumped tons of weapons over here, and now they're making their way down here. And Israel's not really feeling very good because all of these, you see this little thing right here, all of these missiles, all that technology has proliferated through the area. This isn't the 90s anymore. This isn't the back in the day. They are actually, if they're on a 1-for-1, because remember, Israel can do all these strikes and they can do all these airstrikes and stuff, but they're, again, you do not know the tunnel system and the actual underground tunneling that these people have. It is completely on a whole nother level. Like, they are actually scared because it is very serious. Like I said, over in this area, I've counted at least like 5 or 6 tanks. I have videos. I can't put them on here. I'm going to do a video later with like the actual footage of me breaking down like some of the footage because YouTube doesn't like that. But some of y'all need to see that because y'all actually think this is like the 90s, is like some action movie. They got these anti-tank missiles. These things fly and hit. They can literally turn it up just like they're doing down here in Gaza. All they have to do is bust out of a tunnel, it takes like a couple seconds to put it together. They launch the missile and it hits, and then they just jump back in the tunnel. They're gone. Okay, open the tunnel, drones come out. Okay, they're doing suicide drones. For whatever reason, the Israeli military, they're just like, they group up in the middle, like whenever they're having a talk or something, they all group up in a huge group and they're talking in the middle of a field. I've seen at least 10 videos of them grouping up in the middle of a field talking, and then the missile hits them, and then they're all finished. Okay, like it's like notoriously happens. I don't understand. People have started gathering in Dahia, southern Beirut, ahead of Nasrallah's speech. Now that speech today, Lots of people saw it. Yeah, it was pretty much, he said, head of the Lebanese forces, it's best for Hassan Nasrallah to withdraw from the south and hand it over to the Lebanese army. Now, the Lebanese army is different than Hezbollah because it's much different. Okay, they're not necessarily in the same team sometimes. They're trying to mitigate the situation by letting the Lebanese army take over and go. Because I'm hearing that the Lebanese military wants to fight, but I don't believe that they will. And they're also trying to calm down the Hezbollah, because Hezbollah will just launch missiles and just literally they've launched a couple missiles into the southern of Israel recently, and a lot of them have been hitting stuff. There might not be anybody in there, but yeah. So part of the speech, Hezbollah Secretary Nasrallah claims we did not participate in the planning or implementing of the Al-Aqsa flood operation. It was hidden from us completely. He also says the U.S. is responsible for the war in Gaza and must be punished for its role. He praises the recent attacks on the bases in Iraq and Syria for these resistance axis. Okay, so over here, now, because not everybody can make it down to Gaza to help, now they're just going to attack all the U.S. bases everywhere. And it's going to take up all the weapons and ammo because, like I said, the Israelis are complaining they want more money and guns and ammo, but we got to send it to Ukraine because that's using up a lot of money and guns and ammo, and there might not be enough missiles left for the Iron Dome. That's why a lot of the missiles are making it through, as you can see, which is very sad for the people who are not involved who don't agree with this. But like I said, if you agreed with it all the way up until now, and you didn't understand what was going on, and you just assumed that everything was fine, and you just were taking the ignorant approach, this is why this happens, and you're surprised about it. Again, this is my opinion. You don't have to like it. Everything I've said has been correct. You don't have to like it. I am correct. Nasrallah says that his party succeeded in reducing the pressure on the Gaza front, which is true, because the Israelis have to have a third of their military on the border with Hezbollah, and they are taking casualties pretty regularly. And I'm not going to say it's over the top, but I mean 100 plus, in my estimation, it's a lot. Nasrallah claims that the deployment of U.S. forces to the region is a sign of Israel's weakness. Secretary, we have been informed that the American fleet and the aircraft will respond to us if we intervene, which they've already have been, and they're not really going to do much. So again, I said that they probably wouldn't be able to really do much because, like I said, those aircraft have to fly a long way from Crete all the way over to drop some bombs. And like I said, if they're transferring S-300 and S-400s, you may not know this, but in my other videos that I have shown you, right over here with this, in Damascus, they have actually lost a couple. Israelis have actually lost a few jets a couple years ago. 2 or 3 of them flew over here, and as they were returning, they got hit and fell into Lebanon or in the ocean somewhere. Sorry about that, but yes, they actually have lost it was a couple F-15s, I believe, because they needed to do a strike somewhere over, I don't know, remember where, but they got caught and it clipped them and they actually fell into the ocean. So, like I said, people can say whatever they want. I document the footage and I do the maps. I tell people I actually remember and documented stuff. People can say what they like, but I was correct. Let's see if I can get one of these other bubbles. All options are on the table on the Lebanese front. He's not messing around. So a lot of people think that this is going to, let's see, Nasrallah claims Washington threatened to not only bomb Lebanon, but also Iran. Because they're saying, hey, if you enter the war, we're going to start indiscriminately bombing everywhere, bomb sites that we think are this or that. And then that's how we're going to actually defeat them. Because like I said, a lot of these positions are deep underground, way deeper than any bunker busters could get down to. And they pop out of these tunnels and then they start launching missiles and then jump back in. Now, when they actually strike them, before they can get back to the tunnel, that's the only time that they're actually able to get any of them. The number of dead as a result for the Israeli bombing at Wadi Saluki in southern Lebanon has risen to 4. Like I said, a lot of this are civilians or just random people because you can't, you don't know where the tunnel is until they pop out. And then when they do, a bunch of Israeli soldiers in a barracks across this big red line here, they get hit, and then there's nothing you can do about it. Because like I said, they have lost a lot of people in this northern area, and they're not really talking about it. Because remember, they also are doing stuff in the West Bank. There's lots of fighting going on there too. So like I said, overall, it's just a terrible situation. It could have been avoided if people, like I said, I believe in God. I'm not like a religious person, but, people want to have their religious right wing this or super left wing that and all this different stuff. This is what it leads to whenever you keep doing rhetoric and doing all this different stuff and they want to turn a blind eye, whatever. Like I said, regardless of whatever you believe in, the situation tactically is not good for the Israelis because they're having, again, here in America, my state, the governor of Florida, sending a bunch of weapons and money and guns from Florida, personal donations over to Israel to this situation to try to help them out, which is fine. Like I said, if that's what you want to do. You want to send weapons to these people, you want to send weapons to that people. That's fine. Like I said, you did it to Ukraine, doing all this stuff. Let me switch one more time. Again, I'm against all this war and all this stupid crap. But like I said, as you can see here, Syria, there's an active war. Lots of stuff going on over here. All this different stuff. Russia is still striking all these jihadi warriors, these Turkish warriors over here. This green, there's different types of green. Different green is a different type of backed warrior. Lots of different stuff going on over here, as you can see. After a few days of calmness, heavy fighting again in the city of Aleppo, pro-Assad forces are trying to shoot down multiple weaponized drones launched by rebels. So again, all this stuff is going on, and then you mess around with Gaza right here, right? All of these people who are doing all this fighting and all this stuff, they immediately stop and say, you know what? Let's go down here and mess with these guys. So no matter what type of TV show, I'm pro this or I'm pro that. Oh my God, I watch CSI, I watch all these American TV shows. None of that is going to stop this from coming down this direction. Explosions heard in the Golan Regional Council, possibly mortar shells launched from Syria. Artillery shells were fired from southwest Dara countryside, the Yarmouk Basin towards the Golan. Like I said, they're not really doing anything over here because they're very busy, but they could turn this up. Remember, here's the air base that Russia has over here in Latakia, and they're helping all these Russian strikes. These are all Russian strikes. Russians are striking all these different groups over here, okay? Russian strikes. You look at this. Unfortunately, this is very sad. A nurse was killed and a doctor. Driver sustained severe burns, all from the medical staff of Binish City Hospital following an attack by government forces with no targeted missile strikes on a civilian car in the Binish Tafanza road east of Idlib today, which is very unfortunate. But there's a lot of stuff going on over here. Look, like I said, all of this can shift right down here. And like I said, Russia is fighting against these people that are coming down from Turkey. And all of them dudes will literally, even the Russians will literally side with some of those dudes and send them right on down here so they don't have to fight them. So, and again, Turkey got millions of people who are ready for ignorant, who literally at the drop of a hat. That's why Turkey's, look, even over here in this country, look, Turkey is invading here. They're invading here, over here. Look, here's Azerbaijan, here's Armenia. They're invading. Like, they're spreading out. And if they have to spread down here, they will. They got technology. As you can see, they got drones. They got all types of stuff going on. All right? Iran-backed Islamic resistance in Iraq announces the targeting of the Shahidi coalition base in Syria with 2 UAVs. Look, this isn't a joke anymore. This isn't the 90s. They got drones, UAVs, tunnels popping out with missiles and all kinds of stuff. There's only a couple 100,000 actual military people in Israel and the U.S. They got the forces all standing off, but look, they got hundreds of thousands of missiles. I don't think you guys have been really paying attention like I've been paying attention. Look, right here. What's this? What is this? USS Harry S. Truman. There it is. Okay? Just like I said, Crete. What did I say? Crete. Boom. I said Crete. That's where they're at. Okay? So they have to go all the way over here, fly, because if they get any closer, again, even Egypt, they're getting really tired of this, okay? And down here in Egypt, you know what's going on over here? Libya. There's a war in Libya between some of the Egyptian-backed forces and then the Turkish-backed forces. There's all kinds of stuff going on. They will all stop what they're doing for Palestine. That's what a lot of Westerners, they don't understand. They don't care about the Bible, the Quran. They will help the Palestinians, and you're going to align every group of people in this area to come against you just because they can. And then they're going to go back to doing whatever they want. All this other war, yeah, 100%. Absolutely 100%. Turkish forces targeted this morning the village of Malabas, which is inhabited by the Syriac population in the vicinity of the Yazidi village of Khatun, which causing any casualties. Again, the Yazidis, when they're getting genocided over here because of ISIS, that's this area right here. And all these different types of people who did that, they will swoop down here and just actually have some fun. Because this is fun to them. They don't care, okay? They will do it, so don't mess around. Again, another base over here. More drone activity. The Islamic
resistance to Iraq, claims responsibility for 2 suicide drones attacking at the Al-Tanf base, which hosts U.S. forces, like these U.S. forces funding some jihadis down here, which is a completely different group. There are a lot of people that the U.S. and all these different, again, ISIS is over here. This black dots, this is ISIS, okay? All different types of jihadi groups, Turkmen, ISIS, HTS, the Kurds, they will all come down here. And the U.S. has been giving them weapons that you literally do not ever want to even know that exist. Israel is in big trouble if they do not. Look, it's all for this. All for this? Y'all gonna give up everything in the world just to mess with these people down here? Okay? This isn't about your feelings. This is about the tactical situation. They do not have the weapons. All that stuff in Ukraine, look, Ukraine is right here, okay? Ukraine is right here. A lot of the people fighting in Ukraine that we've been giving weapons to, they share a lot of the, some of them are Islamic, some of them are fucking Turkish, some of them are many of these different Islamic groups. They've Chechens, Dagestanis, they will come down here and actually fight for Palestine. A lot of them actually have started to come down here and started to bring in their weapons. That's why in northern Israel, a lot of these dudes that are getting killed are straight up literally, you don't know where these weapons are coming from. And again, let me pause this one more time. And again, a lot of these weapons, you do not know where they're coming from. And once they start appearing up in your area, it's probably because it's pointed at you and you're not going to be happy about it. Now, in the next video, I will do a longer version. I will actually try to break down some of the footage to show a lot of these people, because in the West, they think it's, oh, you're a leftist, you support this, or, oh, you're a right. Look, a lot of these people, they became politically active because of some political person that gave them like this they just talk to them and they get all, oh my God, he liked one of my posts. Like these people really don't actually care. They have not been following conflicts. They don't really know what they're talking about. They're just breathing a lot of hot air, left, right, it doesn't really matter. I'm trying to give you the tactical analysis and let you know that if you care about Israel, you care about Jews, you care about Palestinians, you would want the end to this, because this is going to turn ridiculous. As you can see right here, look at this. That's an explosion in the ocean. Police carried out a controlled demolition of a large munition in the sea that's... Oh, sorry, I'm not doing it. Police carried out a controlled demolition of a large munition in the sea that swept to the Haifa coast. Unclear where the munition is from. Now, earlier they had a video of the Hamas people, terrorist group, freedom fighters, underground boogeymen, whatever you want to call them, launching a drone. It was a torpedo with a little sensor on top of it, and they can pretty much do whatever they want. They can control it, make it go wherever. All they have to do is give them to one of their friends up here. Or maybe these people have one, because remember, drones are worldwide now. Because remember, we have to fight the Syrian government. We have to fight the Russians. We have to fight this. We have to fight that. Y'all have proliferated drone technology and all this stuff all across the world so fast and so far. Turkey is the number 2 place that creates drones behind U.S. and Israel. And like, they beat China out. They have the drones, okay? And now you think that they wouldn't get right down here, okay? Especially when the leader of Turkey, Erdogan, he's in front of a 1 or 2 million person crowd talking about, I will redo the Ottoman Empire. We will take over Israel, take it over all. Ah! And all these people are going crazy. Y'all are playing around with a lot of people, and you don't even know the capabilities of your own military, and you're talking way out of your behind. And it's like I said, you think that Israelis want to see this everywhere? All the people that have been evacuated from this northern area, they're staying up in hotels and places all around here, and then it's getting hot over here. And I said, just because there's nothing going on over here doesn't mean, on this map, doesn't mean that there's not like all types of skirmishes, conflicts. There's a general strike in the West Bank. Like, the Israeli economy is taking a straight up L, and they're demanding more money from America, and people in America are tired of this. We're like, no, we don't want to pay. It's not looking good. Every single front, y'all are taking L's, and you need to, again, stop blowing up these people in Gaza. Leave them alone. Stop trying to push them out. Again, this is my situation, and then they'll stop trying to come across the thing and attack and fight people and shoot people up in their thing and fight the Israeli army in the middle of these neighborhoods and these kibbutz, these little military outpost things. You know what I'm saying? Like, all that will stop happening if you stop blowing it up and come to the table and actually talk it out. But a lot of people don't want to do that because they want to have Benjamin Netanyahu. They want to have the right-wing government Israel. They want to have the stupid government in America, and they want to be pumped up, watching all the TV shows and all the we're gonna get the Putin, we're gonna get the this, and then they get out here. When you are the person that gets out here, then dudes popping out of tunnels with missile launchers, and then you got to deal with that. And then you got to deal with that. And then you got to deal with all these people getting bombed, and then they got to deal with this, and they got to deal with that. All you got to do is talk it out. A lot of people won't get to have their messianic or their whatever religious, end world ending, prophecy and all that. Look, man, the only people's worlds are ending, and anybody over here having to deal with this, y'all worlds is ending. Everybody else in all these other countries, they're chilling, right? Is this worth it? Like I said, you let me know in the comments. I'm not pro either one of these sides, but I'm telling you, if you're an Israeli and you think that your country is going to survive after messing around and angering all these people, you got another thing coming. Tactical analysis is, here's my analysis. They are going to lose, and it's going to be bad. They're handing out guns to everybody in the country because they can feel how bad it's getting. Come to the table, talk it out. There won't be no more issues, but that's just my tactical analysis. What do you all think? Do you think that I'm just making it up and there's enough ammo in the world and they're not running out of ammo because we're sending it all to Ukraine? Or whatever you think, put it down below in the comments. Share the video. Throw a like, throw a dislike, whatever you like. Throw the comments. Let me know what's going on, and I'll see you later.